can you eat that? It smells terrible. The judgment from across the table breaks your focus. Just a second ago, you were enjoying a perfect slice of pizza, topped with those tiny, intensely salty fish, anchovies. You didn't order them to prove a point. You just love that explosive, savory depth. But here is the ultimate plot twist. The very friend sitting across from you, judging your meal, has likely eaten anchovies dozens of times. They just have no clue. That paradox pulls back the curtain on a deeply compelling secret. What are these tiny creatures at their core? What gives them the power to launch such a heavy assault on our senses? And how did they manage to quietly conquer kitchens across the globe?
Hi, I'm Edward, and this is QC Project Simple Things. Let's uncover the secret.
Here is the thing. People don't actually hate the fish itself. They hate what we have forced it to become. By nature, anchovies are just tiny silver ocean fish. Fresh out of the water, they are incredibly soft and have a very clean, gentle flavor. The secret lies in their biology. Anchovies are packed with healthy, unsaturated fats. But because these fats are highly unstable, they oxidize rapidly in the air, creating that bitter taste and foul, aggressive smell that repels so many people. Then, humans step in. We pack them in salt, press them, and let them age for months. This intense curing process intentionally pushes those fats to their absolute limit. That is why everyone hates them. Almost no one ever sees a fresh anchovy. We only encounter them in tins or on pizzas when they have already developed their most offensive and aggressive personality. So, don't blame your friends for mistakenly assuming this fish is naturally foul-smelling. All that matters is that you understand the truth. You are experiencing a complex reaction shaped by centuries of human craftsmanship. And that realization brings us to a single question. What exactly did we do to them? Here is the fact. Anchovies are master choreographers of the sea. They don't just swim, they move in massive silver superswarms scattered across the world's temperate and tropical waters. A single school can contain anywhere from a few 100,000 to several million individual fish, forming giant, swirling living spheres. They move as one giant, pulsating organism, shifting and rippling in the blink of an eye to confuse predators. While dozens of species exist, only a handful from the Mediterranean, South America, and Southeast Asia regularly find their way to our plates. But their origin doesn't matter. The real focus is their internal biology. Water accounts for roughly 70 to 80% of their muscle mass. This staggering fluid content leaves their flesh far looser and less dense than that of land animals, causing them to spoil and decay almost the exact moment they are pulled from the water. Throughout most of human history, your only options were to enjoy them right on the shore, or find a way to freeze them in time. The urgent necessity to protect such a highly perishable catch gave birth to an ancient culinary craft. It was this exact preservation method, predating modern refrigeration by over 1,000 years, that took a naturally clean, refreshing fish and forced it into what many now consider a foul-smelling monster. So, how exactly does this preservation method we're talking about take place? Right after being pulled from the sea, anchovies are layered with salt, packed tightly, and pressed under heavy weights. Then, they are simply left alone for months or even years. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But on the inside, a quiet revolution is taking place. Natural enzymes begin to break down the fish's proteins into amino acids, and among them, one specific compound takes center stage for your taste buds: glutamate. Glutamate is the pure source of umami, that deep, savory sensation that makes food feel richer, more complete, and incredibly satisfying. It is the reason why aged Parmesan carries a depth that fresh milk cannot touch. It's why soy sauce is worlds apart from simple salt water. And it's the trick that lets a humble forest mushroom mimic the rich, heavy taste of a slow-cooked steak. Salted anchovies aren't just a preservation trick. They are a concentrated essence of umami. When used masterfully, they don't make your dish taste like fish. They act like a dimmer switch turned up from the inside, making the existing flavors shine brighter. Once you grasp that, you stop viewing them as a mere pizza topping. You see them as a technique, And that realization brings us to another common mix-up involving a different little canned fish. The imposter, as you've likely guessed, is the sardine. Walk into the ready-to-eat aisle of any supermarket, and you'll find them huddled together on the shelves. They are often packed in nearly identical tins, disguised like twin brothers. But the moment you crack them open, they play two entirely opposite roles in the theatre of flavour. Sardines are the giants of the canned world, plump, rich and oily. They are built to be the main event. You eat them whole, splashed with lemon on a piece of rustic toast, or simply enjoyed straight from the tin. They are a complete meal. Anchovies, on the other hand, are the introverts of the kitchen. Smaller, softer, and always stripped of their bones, they don't want to be eaten as a standalone dish. Instead, think of them as a natural bouillon cube. That aggressive saltiness and deep aroma you experience isn't because they are inherently fishier. It is the concentrated power of months of resting in salt. So, if sardines represent a finished plate, anchovies embody a culinary philosophy. And it's an ancient philosophy, predating the invention of pizza, outliving the concept of restaurant menus, and defying the very idea that a fish is only allowed to taste like seafood. Long before these natural bouillon cubes ever touched a slice of pizza, the ancient world was already obsessed with them. Enter the Roman Empire and a legendary substance called garum. Garum was essentially an ancient ketchup, but made of sea creatures. They took small fish, stacked them high with salt, and let them bake in the sun until they dissolved into a powerful, pungent liquid. The Romans splashed it on everything, from luxury banquets to simple street food, just to make the flavors pop. It was a massive industry, shipped in clay jars across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Some bottles were cheap table staples, others were so pricey they became ultimate status symbols. This doesn't mean your Caesar dressing has a direct bloodline to Rome. It means that for millennia, humans have been hacking the system using the exact same cheat code. Salt plus time equals magic. You can see this exact same logic alive and well today in the rich fish sources across Southeast Asia. Different shores, different names, but the same ancient secret, using a tiny fish to build a massive mountain of flavor. And the most brilliant part about these flavor mountains, they are designed to be invisible. Because they are master mimics, you have probably fallen in love with anchovies without ever knowing it. Think about that specific sauce you adore but can never quite recreate at home. Caesar dressing is the textbook example. You easily detect the punch of lemon, the bite of garlic, and the salt of parmesan. But then there is a ghost note, a heavy, satisfying foundation that ties the whole symphony together. That invisible anchor is almost always the anchovy. But here is the secret most people miss. Their bones are so microscopic that during the curing or cooking process, they completely dissolve into the sauce. You are getting the rich depth of a whole creature without ever feeling a single bone. This magic has made them the ultimate secret weapon for centuries. Legend has it that the legendary seducer Casanova insisted on anchovies at his dinner tables, believing they were a powerful aphrodisiac. This is the reason many top chefs, even those who swear they can't stand the fish, still sneak it into their recipes. It was never designed to be a hero standing in the spotlight. It was created to make every other actor look flawless. Anchovies are the thin line dividing a dish that is merely decent from one that makes you ask, how on earth did they make this? But let's be fair to your friend at the pizza table. They aren't completely wrong. The version of the fish they find offensive is the one forced to stand alone, fully exposed. But there is another side to this story, one that converts skeptics into believers in a heartbeat. Did you know that in coastal fishing villages, fishermen view anchovies as even more valuable than pure gold? To them, the arrival of these silver swarms isn't just a catch, it's the lifeblood of the ocean. Anchovies are the foundational link of the marine food chain. Their presence means a thriving ecosystem, drawing in larger, valuable fish and guaranteeing a prosperous season for the entire community. But there is another reason they are treated like royalty: their absolute freshness. In these sun-drenched villages, where fish are pulled from the nets and cooked within hours, anchovies are a culinary revelation. They are lightly grilled over open flames or gently cured in vinegar. In this untouched state, they are incredibly soft and delicate, offering a clean, bright flavor that would shock anyone who grew up terrified of the metal can. I have seen countless anchovy haters completely change their minds with just one bite of the fresh catch. They realized that the harsh, overwhelming assault on their senses wasn't the fish at all. It was just the consequence of salt and time. To achieve global dominance, this humble fish had to strike a heavy bargain. It sacrificed its original gentle nature in exchange for an immortal shelf life. And once the endless debates about its aggressive aroma finally settled down, we are left with the next obvious question. Are these tiny, potent creatures actually good for your health? When it comes to your health, the tiny size of this fish is actually its greatest superpower. Because they occupy the bottom rungs of the marine food chain and have brief lifespans, they don't have the time or the opportunity to absorb heavy metals. You get none of the mercury worries that come with top predators like tuna. Instead, you get a clean shot of premium nutrition, brain-boosting omega-3 fatty acids, a heavy dose of vitamin B12, and essential minerals like calcium and iron. Mechanically speaking, they are a brilliant addition to your diet. But this nutritional goldmine comes with a sharp, double-edged sword: salt. The curing process packs them with an immense amount of sodium. This means you should never treat them like a standard protein portion to fill your belly. They are a seasoning. You don't construct a whole dinner around them. You use them as the final brushstroke that completes the painting. The moment you shift your perspective and realize that the anchovy is an invisible catalyst for flavor rather than a seafood entree, all the confusion about how to cook with it simply disappears. I want to give you the 10-second rule. This is the fastest way to tell if you are looking at a masterfully cured anchovy or just a spoiled piece of fish. Next time you open a jar of anchovies, dedicate those 10 seconds to your senses. First, catch the aroma. A premium cure should never reek of a stagnant harbor. It should whisper of aged leather or the deep sweet musk of dried dark fruits. Second, observe the flesh. It should boast a vibrant mahogany depth, not a lifeless grey. Finally, press a fillet with your fork. It should offer a firm, clean resistance rather than collapsing into a formless paste. By following these steps, you are no longer just guessing in the kitchen. You are conducting a symphony of flavor. You aren't just adding an ingredient, you are adding pure depth. After everything I have just shown you, let's go back to that original complaint at the start of the video. Your friend isn't actually fighting against a fish. They are simply reacting to a preservation method of a creature they don't truly understand. Yet, that exact same process, salt, time, and slow alchemy, is the secret reason they adore the depth of a steak marinade, the rich harmony of a Caesar dressing, or that heavy bass line echoing at the bottom of their favorite sauces. Anchovies are the unsung anchors of the culinary world, easy to ridicule and misjudge, but nearly impossible to substitute. They serve as a quiet reminder that our sharpest dislikes are often aimed at the loudest, most aggressive version of a thing, rather than the thing itself. Some elements in this world don't exist to grab the spotlight. They exist simply to make everything around them make sense. So, the next time your eyes find them on a menu, the choice of how to treat them belongs entirely to you. You can let them remain the loud protagonist, sharp, unapologetic, and sitting proudly on top of your slice. Or you can remember the ancient knowledge of the kitchen. Let them dissolve, fade into the background, and become an anonymous ghost doing the heavy work in silence. That is the quiet magic of the anchovy. It reminds us that being present everywhere doesn't mean you have to be seen. Sometimes it means you are the very foundation holding the whole structure together, doing your job faithfully, even when no one remembers to look down and say thank you. And now I'm genuinely curious. Where do you stand on the great anchovy debate? Do you actually enjoy them as a bold protagonist on your pizza? Or do you only love them when they act as an anonymous ghost in dressings and sauces? Share your side of the story in the comments below. And if there is another humble ingredient you want us to investigate next, just name it.
I am Edward, and this is QC Project Simple Things. Thank you for walking with me today.
Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the simple things in everyday life. Because what you see is never the whole story. There's always something deeper beneath the surface. See you in the next one.